What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 268, and today we have the FA Cup final against Everton, which will of course be played live here at Wembley. Now, just before I go on, I know at the back end of the last episode I said that this episode 268 would actually be the end of the Barclays Premier League season. The reason why it isn't is because I got my dates mixed up, and the Everton game comes first in the FA Cup final, then we have the final games of the year. So yeah, I actually what? Why is the classic? Oh, because I'm not signed in, am I? Yeah, I actually got that wrong. So sorry about that. That's my bad. It doesn't matter, obviously, because you'll still get to see the end of the season regardless. It just won't be until the next episode. But yeah, it's the FA Cup final against Everton today, and I think I'm just going to leave the side as it is. Usually I like to make one or two changes, but do you know what? I want to make one change. What I want to actually do is play Anderson in this game, because I like, should I? No. He'll be safe for the rest of the season. He can develop some points there, but so yeah, there you go. Let me just do the settings real quick. So I know in the last episode I did say that it was going to be, I did say it was going to be the end of the season. Again, apologies if you were expecting that and then this video pops up and you were like, what's going on here? I went to the end of the Barclays Premier League season. Sorry about that. Again, it's my bad. I got my dates mixed up. Sometimes it happens, you know, sometimes you make mistakes as a YouTuber and you say things that actually don't happen. It's just how it is, but regardless, I do apologise, but that will be the next episode, and I know I just repeated myself a lot there, but regardless, it is the FA Cup final against Everton, so that should still be good fun to watch, and I will be playing it live, and as per usual in the live games, I answer questions from Twitter, and again, thank you very much for all the questions. As per usual, I obviously can't answer them all, because I get loads and loads and loads, but thank you for everyone that does ask questions. I'll try and get around to as many as possible, and if I don't answer your question, apologies, don't take it to heart, it's nothing personal, it's just I didn't get the time to answer. What can I say? And of course there are some questions as well that I don't particularly want to answer, mainly because I don't want to upset anyone, I don't want to offend anyone, and also my opinion may not be valid. For example, I got a question today from a guy called Jamie, I think it was Jamie, yes it was Jamie, and he asked me what my thoughts are on the Scottish independence. Well, I don't want to answer that because although I am, what is it, like 1/8 or 1/16 Scottish, I haven't lived in Scotland for an extensive period of time, so I don't particularly feel like my opinion will be valid and justifiable. So yeah, there's some questions I won't answer, and hopefully you understand that. But I'll get around to as many as possible. I've got a few good ones today, and again, thanks for all the questions. And if you do want to get involved with the questions, if you do want to ask me questions, follow me on Twitter. You can follow me at @DocLanders. Again, I highly recommend it. There's a link to my Twitter in the description as well. Highly recommend it. I don't tweet very much per day, so I won't be clogging up your feed if that's what you're worried about, and I'm quite interactive on there. I do try and answer as many questions as possible. Obviously sometimes I can't, but I do try and respond to a lot of the tweets I get, and it's just a really good place to keep up to date on my videos on Twitter. You know, if I'm ever going to make a change to my schedule, you know, for example, if there's one day where I'll only upload once instead of twice like I'm doing right now, I'll let you know on Twitter first. If there's going to be a video which comes out a little bit later than usual for whatever reason, maybe I've had a problem with uploading, I'll let you guys know on Twitter. You know, sometimes I'll do a straw poll and I'll let you guys choose, I'll let you guys decide on something that happens, an incident that happens in career mode, and I'll post it to Twitter, and you guys can help me out, and obviously you can get involved with the questions on Twitter as well. It's just a great place to be interactive with me, I guess, and if you are a fan of my videos, then obviously thank you, and I think Twitter will be a good experience for you, and again, you can follow me at @DocLanders, and the Twitter link is in the description below. But yeah, we'll take on Everton in the FA Cup final, looking for our first of the magical treble that we're after, and hopefully we can win it. Excuse me. Obviously, you know, the FA Cup, I don't think I've actually won it with Millwall at all. I can't remember us winning it regardless. And, you know, of recent years, I haven't been doing very well in this competition, mainly because it's been a competition I haven't really cared too much about. That's a penalty straight away. What a great start this could be. Haven't really cared about it too much, but this year, I really want to go out with the treble. You know, it's the last game of the series. If you can believe this, in all the years we've played career mode in, and all the trophies we've won and been so successful, we've never actually won a domestic treble. That's the main cup, the Premier, the league for whatever country we've been in, because we've been in Italy as well, and also the Champions League. We've never actually won the treble. That's not in the green, is it? That's not in the green. And the goalkeeper saves it. Oh no, what a terrible start. That should have been 1-0. That's funny. I've had 2 live games. I missed 2 penalties with Carrasco. That's pretty poor, isn't it? Still, it's not surprised to see me missing penalties, I guess. Oh, Triggs! Oh, did it go in? It is now. Hox scores. I thought I crossed the line there. Oh well, we still take the lead despite Carrasco missing a penalty. That's poor from Everton to switch off like that. Still, we take the lead through the Ox. I thought I just scored with Triggs, but no, it didn't cross the line. Still, yeah, we've never actually won a domestic treble, so hopefully we can do it in our final season of career mode. I can't believe that ball didn't cross the line. I was almost certain it did. And I thought the Ox was offside. I don't have to watch that back at the end of the game. I thought, first of all, the goal should have counted, and I thought the Ox was offside. I'll have to watch that back. Anyway, let's get down to the questions. And the first one comes from Nick Bolt. And he says, again, oh, by the way, as well, just before I start, if I say something which you disagree with, then, don't take my opinions to heart. I'm wrong about most things, and I never set out to offend or insult anyone. So if I do say something you disagree with, then please don't take my opinions to heart. And if you want to discuss anything, then let me know in the comments. But yeah, the first question comes from Nick Bolt, and he says, "What's the best way to get to know someone more closely than you currently do?" It's a difficult question to answer, that one, because every person is different when it comes down to relationships, and how they see potential relationships, whether it just be friendships or loving relationships or whatever. Everyone sees things differently. I know someone who's really, really closed off, and they've had friends since school, but they don't want to make new ones. They're okay with the friends they currently have, and there's chances to make more friends at work, for example, or they play football, so hanging out 2-0 up already, Jesus, hanging out with people they know at football, but they don't really want new friends because they already have a good current circle and they don't want to change the balance. And it's hard to remember sometimes that there are because when you think about it, if you know someone and you get on with them through whatever, maybe you play football with them, or you go to work with them, whatever, it's hard to remember. Even if you get on with them, sometimes they don't actually want to be your friend, and it's nothing personal. It's just that they're currently satisfied with the circle they have, and they could not exactly do without someone else, but it just gets to a stage where they're just too busy, I guess, and they just like the setup they got right now, and they don't want to alter that. And it's a difficult question to answer because I'm a bit like that as well. Like I don't really have too many friends. I've got actually very few right now. I have quite a few friends at school, and then I left school, and obviously I've only had one permanent job since I left school. Don't know anyone from that job anymore. I left that in quite bad taste, to be honest, but that's a discussion for another day. And I don't really know anyone from that, and I never really planned to make friends there anyway. I was just there to work. What can I say? And I've tried to make friends myself, but I've struggled with it as well. It is very difficult to make friends nowadays as well. Like I said, for some people, they're just too busy. For some people, they just like the setup they got. They don't want to make new friends. Some people, they just have limited interest and you can't make connections with them. It is actually quite difficult to make friends with people nowadays. So, it's a hard question to answer, one which I don't think I really give any good advice to be honest. I don't particularly want to give advice, but I guess from personal experience, the only friends I've sort of made since leaving school have been through hobbies and through common interests we share. For example, the guy I talk to right now, again, I don't know whether I classify him as a friend or not, but I see him every now and then. The main reason we would be considered acquaintances is nothing else, and I know them I know them better than I used to, is because we both go to the same gym, and it's easier really to form that kind of relationship. So it's a difficult question. I wouldn't be the best person to give advice on this situation because, like I said, I find it very difficult to make friends, really difficult to be honest, and I don't have too many currently, so I'm not really the best person to give advice. But I guess from personal experience, the only situations I can tell you about have been where I've just had common interests and we've basically just shared them and not exactly bonded over them, but because we've shared them and been in the same location, it's been quite easy to just develop a relationship, or a minor relationship. It's not really a friendship, a minor relationship through that. So there you go. Next question comes from excuse me, it didn't come from my cough, I just feeling so well today. I feel so unwell today. Comes from Matis. Oh God, I'm so bad at pronouncing names. So if I get this wrong, I'm sorry. Matassim Dane, and he says, "How can you balance things you have to do in life with the things you want to do?" That's a really good question. I read that earlier and I thought that was brilliant. It is so hard to find that balance of enjoying your day-to-day activities and doing them because you have to. It's so hard to I mean, you'd know obviously because you're asking the question. It's so hard to make sure that in your day you not only fit in the things you have to do for example, for money, or to maintain relationships, for example, and things like that. You have to do them, and actually doing the things you want to do. For someone who really enjoys their job and really enjoys the current relationships they have, and it's no effort for them, it's very easy because they enjoy what they're doing, and therefore the things you want to do are the things you have to do anyway. So for example, if you have to get money, yet you want to do it in a certain way and you are doing it that way, for example, if you want to be a chef and your job is a chef, then you're doing both at the same time, and it's brilliant. But for those of the people out there that struggle with working in jobs which they don't particularly like doing, maybe you're a shelf stacker or a cleaner and you're not particularly enjoying your job, you want to be something else, yet you can't because of limited opportunities, and you don't have too much time in the day because obviously you're working 9 to 5 shift like most people are, and it's hard to get that balance. It is really difficult, and I would probably two questions here asking for sort of little bits of advice, and I can't really help you. I wouldn't be the best to give advice in this situation, and Carrasco should have made it 3-0 there. I wouldn't be the best to give advice in this situation, but personally speaking, I think the best way to do it is pursue a job which you do enjoy. I know so many people who do jobs which they absolutely hate. They literally dread going into work in the morning or the evening, and it just makes them so negative and so demoralised. And I always say the same thing. Look, I sympathise with you, I really do, because obviously everyone needs money. It's one of the most important things in the world, which I think is sickening, but that's how the world works nowadays. It's one of the most important things in the world, if not the most important thing in the world. And everyone needs money, so everyone basically needs a job, to be honest. And I sympathise with you that you need employment, and most of the time that employment for people is something they don't particularly enjoy doing. But I always say the same thing. If you can, oh wow, what's a miss? If you can find something you enjoy doing, you'll enjoy going to work. I'll use YouTube again as an example, but YouTube for me is not my full-time job, it is my part-time job, which means I do earn a salary from it, but it's not currently enough to make it a full-time job. But I'm trying to make it a full-time job, and this is the point. Now, I could easily have, I started to focus a lot more on YouTube when I left my last job back in 2012, and it didn't really become a part-time job for me until early 2014, but I made a real go of it. I could have basically left that job and started shelf stacking in Tesco. I could have left that job and worked as a service assistant. I could have left that job and worked in retail. Those aren't jobs which I'm saying are bad jobs. They're embarrassing jobs. Of course not. If you enjoy that, and if that's your passion in life, or if you just you want to work there to get the money, that's totally fine. But for me, that didn't appeal to me. I'm someone who doesn't really care too much about money in general. I'm someone who just enjoys what they do. So for me, I wanted to make YouTube my job, whether it be part-time to begin with, like it is right now. I wanted to make it my job because when I get into, when I turn my PS4 on in the morning, okay, sometimes, like in my last live commentary, I said sometimes there are days where I don't want to, and it's really negative. But most of the time, I'm really excited. I'm happy. Right now, I'm really having a good time doing this video. I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now, and that's the whole point. This is this is technically my part-time job. So if you can find something you enjoy doing, you'll be able to do both of those aims in one, and it's brilliant. And then the time you get off work, you can spend doing other hobbies which you enjoy. For me, I like going to the gym and stuff like that. So that's my honest advice, and I know it's cliche, and I know you've probably heard it 1,000 times. I know in today's world it's not easy to follow that advice, but if you can find something you enjoy doing, try and make it your job, because you'll be able to do both of those aims in one. And again, I know it's very difficult in today's market for for everyone really, particularly young people. I totally understand that, but personally speaking, if I can do it, and I'm an absolute idiot to be honest, I'm stupid as hell, but if I can make this work doing what I'm doing, then there's no reason why you can't win up assistance as well. So try and find something you want to do. And again, I know it's patronising, I know it's cliche, I know it's probably so tedious to hear for the 1,000th time, but that is my honest to God best advice. And again, if you disagree, I'm sorry, that's just all I can give you, really, advice from personal experience. And there's a great chance for Everton on the break here, but I don't know, Everton in this game, it's like, I'm pleased to be 2-0 up, but it's such an anti-climax. It's been really routine for us so far. But anyway, coughing all over the place today. The next question comes from Callum. He says, will you do more online content in FIFA 15? I want to. I really do. Online, I much prefer online gameplay to offline gameplay, which always surprises quite a few people, because over the past few years, offline has been a main focus. But I much prefer online to offline. And I know I have some subs that enjoy online content as well, and not so much the offline. So I would try and do more online content, but it is very difficult, for a YouTuber. Like I said, it's not my permanent job, so I can't dedicate my entire time to it. And like I said, for FIFA 15, I might actually drop down to doing just one video there as opposed to two, as it's a right struggle at the moment. It's very difficult to fit the time in and to fit it into a schedule. So that, doing 3 videos a day, in my opinion, is overkill, and even 2 videos at times can be overkill as well. So to fit online content in as well as offline is really hard. And obviously for me, I like to run long series, and I never like to end this series unless until it's completely done. And obviously offline is my main focus, despite online being something I enjoy more. Offline is my main focus because that's what the majority of my subs prefer. So it's very difficult, but I will do my best to do more online content. content. I'll try and start early with some Ultimate Team, and we'll take it from there. But again, just understand, if you are someone that prefers online content, it's a bit of a predicament for me, because it is so difficult to actually manage it, so I can do both online and offline together in such a short space of time. And the next question comes from Welbeck is Life, and he says, what's the best thing that's ever happened to you? I don't know exactly. Like, there aren't, and I don't really want to get too negative in this commentary. I think my last live commentary was quite negative, and I apologise for that, so I don't want to get too negative, but there haven't been too many positive things that have happened in my life, and that's the God honest truth. I'm a very honest person, I'll be honest with that. I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell you that my life's been all sunshine and flowers, because it hasn't, but, you know, there have been a couple of things here and there that have been fantastic, and it just worked out really well, even if they are very limited, and most things have been negative. And the main thing for me has been my YouTube channel, and I can't, you know, it's an understatement for me to tell you that it's been a really positive thing for me, you know, because like I said, right now it's my part-time job, and it's just fantastic. You know, it really is fantastic. So I earn a salary off of this. Okay, it's not a full-time salary, and obviously there are YouTubers that will earn, you know, tons. You know, my paycheck compared to what someone like the Syndicate Project would earn, for example. You know, I'm earning pennies compared to his pounds. So, you know, it's still impressive for me. You know, to get over 60,000 subs, you know, is amazing. You know, to have a platform to discuss my beliefs and opinions is amazing. That's one of the most important things in my life, and it's without doubt one of the best things for me, and I think it would be the best thing that's happened in my life. And again, to some people that's quite sad, and I understand that, but to me, you got to understand it's got so many positives for me, and it's a really pleasing thing and a really pleasing factor in my life right now. DP says, were there any other sports you enjoy playing aside from football? Yeah, I really enjoy playing basketball. Basketball is a sport that I still watch to this day. I love watching basketball, love watching the NBA. It's very difficult for me, obviously, because obviously the games are broadcast late at night, and obviously I don't stay up at night all the time. So I tend to just watch the highlights in the morning of the games in the regular season. But for the playoffs, I'll always stay up. I'll always stay up for the playoffs. I love the NBA playoffs. It's actually, you know, just as fun for me to watch playoff games and the finals as well as watching football. You know, it really is, and that's a surprise, because I've been playing football and watching football since the age of 6. And the fact is, I love basketball just as much when the playoffs come round, and you know, it's great. So I really enjoy basketball. I used to like rugby league as well, not for playing, because I'm too much of a weed. I'm a really skinny person. I always have been, to be honest. Although I have been overweight a couple of times, but I'm not really sort of built for rugby, to be honest. But I really like watching rugby league. I used to watch St Helens. I've actually got in my jersey in my drawer somewhere underneath the microphone, I've actually got a St Helens jersey from like 2008, but I can't find it right now. I was going to take a picture and put it as a picture-in-picture, but I got a St Helens jersey as well. Really like them, but I haven't been watching for a while, mainly because I haven't had Sky Sports for ages, and obviously because the games are broadcast in Sky, I can't watch them. Also, I used to like cricket, but I just got to a stage where I couldn't be bothered. I played golf for a bit as well, if you can believe that. I used to play golf, not, you know, I didn't have a handicap or anything. I literally just played for fun. My mate had a handicap of a really good handicap. It was a really low one. I can't remember what it was, but it was a really low one, and he was fantastic. And I was just shocking. Like, I was genuinely, absolutely shocking. I think in my life I made one par. That's it. You know, for all the rounds I played, or all the rounds of golf, I think I made one par on a proper course, and that was it. It was a par 3. I remember it now. It was hole 10 at my local golf club. I had a membership there, a junior membership, but I haven't played golf for years and years and years. I sometimes go to a uni field with my friend and just hit balls up and down the field, because, you know, it's just fun and stuff, but I haven't played for years. I was just absolutely atrocious at it, to be honest, and obviously, you know, you tend to get better at the things you enjoy, so obviously I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, but I just never got better at it. But yeah, I enjoy golf, and there are a few sports here and there, but mainly basketball and football, they've been the main sports for me. And Samuel, otherwise known as Sam United, said to me, if you were to find a partner, how would you let that affect your channel? It's such a great question, that one, because I talk about, you know, the quest for getting a soulmate and a partner and a lover all the goddamn time. Yeah, 21 years old, almost 22. I've been single all my life. It's hilariously, it's just hilarious to other people, but for me it's quite sad. I don't know, like, I really don't think it would bother me that much. I mean, I know to some people it will be quite a negative thing, for different reasons, which let's not go into right now, but for some people it will be quite a negative thing, and it may turn people off my channel, but like I don't really see it that way. Like I really don't. I think a partner for me and a partner, yes, they would take up a bit more of my time, obviously, and therefore sometimes YouTube would actually take like third priority in my life. For example, like right now it's first and second. Sometimes I might take third or even fourth, depending on how much of time I'm spending with that partner. But the realistic outcome is that it will improve my morale so much. It will turn me from miserable to happy, for example, if they're the right person, and it would affect my channel in positive ways, because I'd be far more engrossed in my work, because I would feel as though the paycheck I'm getting, for example, is being spent on two people. And I've always felt that's a really sort of, I don't want to get too depressing, but I've talked about my morale quite a bit, and people know that I'm not exactly the happiest person in the world. That's pretty goddamn obvious. And I've always said that one of the problems and one of the reasons why that is the case is because I feel like I'm worthless. I feel like I'm not important. I feel like no one needs me or even wants me at times. And I say at times, most of the time, really. I feel as though I'm basically just useless, and no one wants or needs me. Whereas if I had a partner, I would have such a better outlook on the world, and I would have such a better view on everything. So I would sit there and say, well, clearly someone does need me, and someone does want me, and it would affect me in such a good way positively. And I'm sure people would see a change in my commentaries as well. I get comments all the time, and they're not negative comments to the point where they put me off doing videos. They're not negative comments to the point where they're hate comments and I don't like getting them. I don't mind getting constructive criticism, but I get so many comments on a regular basis from people saying stuff like you're so negative, you're so hard to listen to because you're so pessimistic, your monotonous voice, which I can't do much about, but you don't really you don't sound happy in your videos and whatever. And that's true, but if I had a partner, I feel as though my commentary would actually improve, which is the weakest part of my channel. I feel as though I've got more of a service to upload in. I'd feel much better about myself. I feel as though it would only benefit positively. I genuinely don't think it would be a negative change at all. I genuinely don't. I think there's a good chance here for Trixie Boy. Oh, it's a good chance. I can't believe that. Just reflecting on that first goal, I cannot believe I didn't cross the line. I was almost certain it did. That's a penalty, ref. What? Come on. That should be a second penalty. Yeah, so in short, I think it would benefit my channel massively, like genuinely massively. And I think I said the word understated about 5 times already, but I think that having a partner for me can't be understated. It's such an important thing, and it will be a brilliant change in my life. It's one of the things I've always wanted, and hopefully one day it will. But then again, I've been wanting it for many years. I'm 21 years old, almost 22, 22 in November, and I've been single all my life, so I guess I can't be too optimistic about my chances. Anyway, next question comes from 701VO, and he says, if you had to choose, would you rather be overweight or underweight? Well, I don't really know why I have to choose, but I've been at both stages, if you can believe that. Like right now, for example, I'd probably actually be described as underweight. My weight is a little bit too low for my height, although the reason for that is, I thought I was going to get the ball away there. The reason for that is because I'm actually trying to cut down right now. I'm on a bit of a strict diet at the moment. I'm going to the gym, doing a bit more cardio. I'm trying to cut down, mainly because I was what you call a skinny fat type of body. I wasn't overweight or anything, but I was a little bit, I basically took in the wrong foods and I didn't do enough cardio. So I'm on a bit of a diet right now, and I've dropped a lot of weight. I've dropped a huge amount, and I'm probably what you classify as underweight right now for a 5'10", 5'11" person, male as well. So I don't really know why I'd have to choose. I don't really want to choose either of those. But I'd probably just choose whatever I'm comfortable in. I never really, I'm never comfortable with my appearance anyway, that's obvious. But, I feel a little bit better being underweight. And I know that sounds horrible, to be honest, but I feel a little bit better being underweight because I don't know, I just feel a little bit better about myself. What can I say? Since I dropped the few pounds I have over the past couple of months, I felt a lot better. I've never been, really overweight. I've never been fat. I've just been what you call skinny fat, not, overweight in any way, just taking in the wrong foods and being unhealthy. But underweight for me is not an issue. I don't take in many calories. I never feel malnourished. Well, sometimes I do, but I don't feel too malnourished. Whereas when I feel as though I'm overweight, I feel as though I'm taking in too much, and it's not good for me. So I don't feel unhealthy right now. Whereas when I was I wasn't really overweight. It's hard to describe my situation. I was never really overweight. I did struggle with weight a little bit, but I was never really overweight at all, to be honest. But I guess I just felt a little bit better in the stage I am right now. I feel a little bit more healthier. What can I say? Even though they're not healthy, either of them. It's not healthy to be underweight or overweight. To be honest, you need to have a happy medium, in my opinion. But there you go. There's a chance on the break. Ah, Trixie Boy. If you had legs there, if you had legs, you could have just shinned the ball forward. Instead, it just hit your trouser leg, and there was nothing there. Just hit a bag of air, and then it went back to Everton. Oh, Triggs of no legs. Isn't it the best part of this career mode is Triggs of no legs? It's so funny. Oh dear. Wow, that was terrible. Go on, Button, get the ball on. Oof, could have been risky there. Could have been risky. I need to make a sub. Next question comes from Ben, and he says, if someone has no significant struggles during their teenage years, will they inevitably fail later in life? No, I completely disagree with this theory. Now, I know that it may not be the question you're asking, because this question can be interpreted in many ways, but I know some people who believe that if you have an easy life through childhood, you won't be set up to deal with the harsh reality of adulthood. Because let's be honest, I know I'm not really one to say that, you know, school years are the best year of life, for example. I think that's really patronising and very, very subjective. I'm not one to say stuff like that, but you know, it is pretty obvious that at times, you know, your adult life can be a lot difficult to live compared to your child life, your younger life. And oh wow, are we going to score again? No, they're not. So you know, I don't, you know, although I do agree it is harder to be an adult and be a child at times, I don't believe that having an easy ride through childhood gives you, makes you weaker in adulthood. I don't. I think that as you get older, you don't stay as the same person for your entire life. As you get older, you have to get more tough, you have to get more stubborn, and it's all about how you react to those changes from being a child and going into an adult. So I don't believe the childhood, it has a little bit of an impact, don't get me wrong, but I don't believe it's as massive as some people make it out to be. And 701VO says again, what do you think about the FIFA 15 ratings so far? 50 to 10 have currently been released, and I'm sure that the 10 to 1 would have been released by the time I finished making this video. For me, like, I've seen some of the ratings, and like I disagree with a large chunk of them. I mean, Fabregas going down to 84, in my opinion, is just like, it's shocking. I mean, it's not even debatable. It's just wrong. Fabregas is not an 84 rated player. He's much better than that. And you know, although I don't watch La Liga, my understanding was he had a good season for Barcelona last year. And you know, I'm a massive fan of Fabregas. I think he's criminally underrated. I don't believe that Fabregas deserved to be downgraded to an 84. It's difficult to give a subjective opinion on some of these, but there are loads. There are loads and loads and loads which are really debatable, and I think it's really bad. Sorry, it's really easy to badmouth EA and say they don't know anything about football, and you know that the company basically doesn't give fair ratings to some of the players, because the reality is they do get the majority of them right. You know, they do. There's only one or, you know, well, I say one or two. There's only a few, you know, big players at least, that have ratings which are really, you know, wrong massively. You know, maybe one or two ratings lower or higher than they should be for a lot of the players. For example, I think Rooney's gone down to an 86, which I think is actually quite fair. Although some people think he should be downgraded further, I don't believe that. You know, there are some players who, you know, they get the ratings wrong by maybe one or two. For example, I think Di Maria got downgraded as well. I'm not too sure, but I know a lot of people said Di Maria should have gone one rating higher. So they'll get the ratings, you know, off by one or two, but they'll never be too wrong, you know. And I think that it's very hard to get every single player right in terms of the accurate rating. But again, there are some which are just criminal. I mean, you know, obviously Fabregas is the easiest example because it's just hilarious. I mean, 84 for Fabregas, that's not even fair. You know, the guy is so much better than that. So there are a lot of debatable ones, but they've got a lot right. I agree with a couple of the downgrades. I do agree with a couple of the downgrades, and obviously Courtois has been upgraded as well, which is a definite upgrade in my opinion. Deserved that one. And yeah, it's hard. Like I can't really give an unbiased opinion on this, because there are some players which I'd say, well, you know, does he deserve a downgrade? Does he deserve an upgrade? When the reality is, I can't give the best of opinions. Oh, I should have scored that. I can't give the best opinion because I haven't watched. You know, for example, I only watched the Premier League and the Championship, and obviously the domestic cups in England and the Champions League and Europa League. So I can't really talk about all the Serie A players and all the Spanish players. And obviously I know Pirlo got downgraded, which a lot of people were disappointed about. But yeah, some are really harsh, some are debatable, but I think the majority are right, and I think you should give credit to some of the ratings he have done. But again, there are some, such as Fabregas, for example, going down to an 84, which is just hilarious, really. It's not even debatable for Fabregas to go down to an 84. You can't even justify downgrading Fabregas to an 84. He just doesn't deserve it. It's as simple as that. And no, I think that's probably all I can answer for today, to be honest, because we've now we've now won the FA Cup, and let's just leave it there. So as per usual, thanks for the questions again. I'm sorry I can't get around to all of them. I've still got a few left over, which I'll look to answer in the next live commentary. So I'll keep those favorited. And again, as per usual, if you do want to get involved with the questions, if you do want to ask me stuff, then follow me on Twitter at @DocLand. There's a link below as well in my description. It'll take you straight to my Twitter page. Follow me on Twitter, and you can get involved with the questions. What can I say? But thanks for everyone that did ask questions. And again, if you do disagree with some of the opinions I had on some of the subjects I talked about, don't take them to heart. I'm wrong about most things, and we'll leave it at that. Anyway, the FA Cup is won. We've beaten Everton by 3-1. Gotta be honest, it was an anti-climax. I mean, don't get me wrong, we would have been massive favourites regardless, because Everton, they're a decent side, but you know, they don't do too well on career mode, and you know, it would have been more difficult to face Chelsea, who they knocked out in the semis, but you know, we won, and that's all that matters, to be honest. And we did dominate, to be honest. I mean, you can see there, we had 14 shots compared to their 4, 8 on target compared to their 3, better possession. The first half we dominated, we scored 2 early goals, and we missed a penalty. That's the funniest thing about it. But regardless, we won the game, and I'm really pleased with that. So going to end the live commentary here. As per usual, thanks very much for watching. If you can leave a like on the video, please do so. It really helps my channel out, and it only takes a second to click that like button. Again, you don't have to, obviously. I should always say this, you don't have to leave a like if you don't want to, but if you did enjoy the video, then please do so, because it really does help. And we'll be going into the final few games of the season in the next episode. I did actually play the Stoke game before this game, but you'll see that in the next episode. The reason being is because I didn't want to put the episode out with just one game before this one. It would be like a 4-minute video, and I didn't think that was fair. So what I decided to do was play the Stoke game before this one, but have the Everton game being uploaded before the Stoke game, and having the final games in the next episode. Stoke, Cardiff and Swansea. You'll see all 3 of those games in the next episode, where we end the Barclays Premier League season off. And then, of course, the final episode of the series will be the Champions League final against our former club, Napoli. Really looking forward to that one, as we try and complete a historic treble. We've won 1, now we've got 2 to go as well. So, as always, guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the episode, then please leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode, which will, of course, be the end of the Barclays Premier League season very soon.